Welcome to another Cornwall Chamber of Commerce Meets the Business Partner. And today we have in the studio Georgie.
Hello.
And she's from Wildcard. So very, very nice to meet you. I always like to say at this point of the meeting is thank you for being business partners, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here as a Chamber of Commerce. So I really appreciate you being a business partner. So one of the first questions I'd like to ask is, who are Wildcard? For those people out there who don't know who Wildcard are, who are they?
Who are we? Okay, so we are a PR, public relations and social media agency. We've been based down here in Cornwall for 15 years. And before that, and originally and still are actually London as well. So founded in London about 25 years ago.
Right.
Wildcard is the name and Kate Wild is the founder.
That's right.
She's actually Cornish, and about 15 years ago came back down here and opened an office down here. So that's why we're here and how we're here. And she came back really because we were doing a great job in London and still are. We've got an office in Bristol as well, but wanted to offer what we were doing in London to businesses down here in Cornwall.
And what kind of business are you working with at the moment? You don't have to name the names, but what sort of sectors?
So we built the business largely on food and drink businesses, organisations and brands, lots of businesses and brands that you'd know when you open up your cupboards and ones that you use every day. And that's still absolutely our heartland. But we actually, when we moved down to Cornwall, we realised quite quickly that there's a fantastic, obviously, depth of businesses and brands, and range, I should say, really. Yeah. And so hotels, restaurants, and then
famous also chefs.
Yeah, lots of chefs. We work with lots of chefs over the years. But also everything that falls in between. So we have a sector called leisure and lifestyle. Yeah. And that allows us to work with organisations that are doing great things that actually don't necessarily fall within the kind of the food and drink world. Yeah. So over the years, we've worked with kind of like charities, third sector, public sector. Yeah. We work with construction companies. Yeah. Kind of, you name it, we essentially do it. If you've got a good story to tell and you want to get your name and your business and your brand, their information lifted and elevated from regional and really to national, so we kind of really do specialise in national as well as regional. Yeah. That's what we do.
Oh, that's amazing. And I know, Kate Wild is, on our board as well at the Chamber. So, really appreciate
she's
support.
She's a formidable force. Yeah. A lot of people might know. So her maiden name is Holborough.
No, I didn't know
so
that.
Kate Holborough, and her late mother was Lady Mary Holborough. Right. So a lot of people in Cornwall will have known her mother. Yeah. So she really is kind of carrying on that mantle, really. Has picked it up. And, she's an incredible woman. And is very passionate about the county and does now. She's the founder, she's still involved, had a meeting with her yesterday. But actually what she tries to do now is give back more of her time to giving back to Cornwall. Yeah. So she works with charities. Yeah. She looks after young and talented Cornwall. Yeah. So that's her absolute kind of baby that she looks after. But also every winter people may be aware of the, what's it called? The Christmas fair, which takes place at Eden.
Oh, I know,
And that's a big charity event, raises money for multiple charities across Cornwall, and she raises hundreds of thousands of pounds for that. So, so she's busy doing all of that while I'm kind of looking after the team and looking after the clients.
Fantastic. Yeah. And the team, how big is that team? Obviously, you just said Cornwall, Bristol, London. How many people working?
So we're about 22 in total, which is like, that's fine. Any bigger starts becoming a bit unmanageable. So we're a good size. We're not too big, but we're a good number and spread over those three offices really. So and I oversee all three offices for my sins, so it keeps me quite busy.
And do you travel up and down?
Yeah, I do. You'll see me. I'm like a regular face on the sleeper train. I turn up and they're like, "Oh, hi, back again." I'm like, that's me. Hi. So I spend a lot of time on trains, but it works.
Yeah, and that's the key thing, isn't it? And again, the next question I always like to ask is, why business partners? Why did you become business partners with?
Well, probably. When did we start? Probably been business partners for about 5 years now. Yeah. And I have to say there's lots of different reasons why. The first one actually is the Cornwall Chamber, and especially Kim right at the beginning. When I moved down here 14 years ago, Kim was this kind of wonderful, kind and generous individual that would just look after you and help support you and your business grow. And the team have always been like amazing. So great knowledge, brilliant kind of just information. Like, so we share. So for me, it's like we're partners because we want to share what we know. And likewise, Kim and you guys and the team feedback to us. So we meet regularly. And we kind of, ultimately we try and give Kim and the team just solid consultancy around comms, like what you got, what you guys can be doing better, what the opportunities are, getting your businesses that you look after, how you represent them in the strongest way possible. So that's what we do. That's the advice that we give. We don't do all the heavy lifting, but what we do is essentially try and give that consultancy and that support and advice and tips.
And you do that, and you do that very, very well.
We do
because
that.
I mean, the chamber. If you look at where the chamber was when Kim took over and where it is now, you've been on that journey with him. I've only been there for 4.5 years now, but obviously it's just grown and grown and grown. And some of the work we're doing now, is benefiting, and some of what you've given us is benefiting all those members we got out there as well.
Yeah,
so
I think we welcome. I mean, I think that in terms of an organisation that flies the flag for Cornwall and really does champion the businesses and organisations, but also it's the direct links in with the British Chamber, and I think sometimes people forget that it's the knowledge which Kim and the team bring. Into Cornwall, and actually pushing it back out as well. So that's having that voice,
shouting,
shouting from the rooftops, and journalists, will come to us and say, can we have a quick word with somebody at the chamber? What is their thought on this? What is the future of this policy? And I think that's the important thing. It's not just, networking is important. I mean, you're a great networker, and of course it is, and that's one of the reasons why lots of businesses and organisations want to work with the chamber or want to be a member, but actually I think we all need to remember it's more than that. It's actually representing small businesses, a lot of small medium businesses that don't have the facilities to lobby, for example, and that's the bit I think is clever.
It is, and I think I've said this for the 4.5 years I've been with the chamber now, is we've got a lot of great Cornish businesses down here who don't shout enough about what they do and who they are. It's a shame really as well. But what I've seen in the last 18 months, 2 years is the collaboration which is going on between businesses here in Cornwall, supporting each other and working with each other and keeping it within Cornwall rather than going out looking into Devon, Somerset, Dorset and so on and so forth to find business. They're looking within and supporting businesses that way. So it's exciting to be part of the Chamber of Commerce, and it's exciting to have as many business partners as we got who can give us that support we need. And that direction we need as well. So it's I think it's really important. And like I said, with Kim at the helm, it's just been going from strength to strength to strength.
Yeah, it has. But collaboration is a really good point. And I think the whole point about the business partnership is that it's a mutual partnership. Yeah. So we give you consultancy, and actually your team give us consultancy back. Yeah. And it's that insider knowledge, what's happening within the county, who are the movers and shakers,
exactly.
Who are the people that we need to have knowledge of, and also the young talent as well, like your team, brilliant young team. And I know you guys work really hard on ensuring that you bring young talent through, and we're really passionate about that as well. Yeah. So it's that kind of, it's definitely works both ways.
It definitely does, and it's been working really, really well. And so my last question is, where do you see Wildcard in the next 5 years' time? What sort of direction are you going in? Have you got any idea of where you're
going? Well, so what year are we now? 2023. So just before we turn of the millennium. No, is that right? No, wrong decade. When we went 2020, I had the chance to become managing director. And I've been with the business at that point 10 years. And I was like, okay, so how am I future-proofing for the next 10 years? And it was at that point that we became a triple bottom line business. So we became a B corporation. And I know you guys are also supporting the B23 initiative at the moment. So 23 businesses across Cornwall trying to become B corporations. And we were really proud that we were the first comms agency down here. I think possibly the first PR agency in the Southwest, actually.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and where I see the business going is really just continuing to fly that flag for progressive businesses, no matter the sector, that are trying to do more than just make money. So the collaboration piece is obviously absolutely part of that. So I hope we can continue. We're always going to work with some of the biggest brands in the country, and I'm really proud of that. But actually, you know, they're not all bad guys either. They want to do good, and they have really a really important role to play. They often are the ones with the funds that can create change. So a lot of small businesses are there, you know, small startups. We love challenger brands. You know, right from the beginning, they set their companies up and they're like, yeah, we want to be progressive and we believe in this. But it's some of the big guys, and they're like big ships, you know, that are kind of facing that way, and just to move them takes a bit longer.
I can imagine,
you know, it's a kind of a slower process. But if we can help big organizations, big businesses develop their language around what they're doing and how they are trying to move their business forward while we're working with small businesses, and that's how I see us.
Yeah, and get that balance perfectly right, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah,
it's perfect, isn't it? Well, thank you. You know, thank you for coming along today. One of the things I like to say at the end is, you know, without business partners and without members, you know, Cornwall Chamber of Commerce wouldn't be here. So from the team, myself, Kim, and the rest of the team, obviously, thank you for being business partners. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for coming along today, and it was great to talk. Thank you.
Thanks, Darren.
Great.